Hello, my name is Colin Yates. I'll be presenting MeanStack, specifically nodes in MeanStack. Okay, so introduction to MeanStack. So MeanStack is basically an acronym based off of the components Mongo database, Express, Angular, and alternatives, and Node.js. Um, Mean is full stack JavaScript. It's made for web applications, and it covers both back-end and front-end developing of a web application. So the strength of having one language is why it's used so much, because every single step uses JavaScript, and they all benefit each other. You can pretty much make a web application strictly with MeanStack. Node.js is a component of MeanStack. Um, it covers the server side, so when you're making a web application, you would use Node.js for the server side of everything, and it uses JavaScript. Um, it allows the client and server to initiate communication, allowing them to exchange data freely. Its strengths are handling huge numbers of simultaneous connections, which leads to high scalability, which means um, large companies with lots of users, um, it assists that. Here are some major companies that use Node.js: LinkedIn, Netflix, Uber, Trello, and many more. This proves that Node.js is super strong in large companies with many users. Netflix has millions and millions of um, users. Okay, so for example, Netflix is one of the companies that uses Node.js. They use it to enable high volume web streaming to 182 million subscribers, and it also enabled them to create custom API experiences for specific devices, allowing it to run seamlessly across multiple devices. The focus was on observability, debuggability, and availability. So it's really a good option for these large companies, which proves how strong it really is. Okay, so the pros of Node is you get the pros of full stack development. The mean stack you get it works with multiple different things, so you can use it seamlessly. Fast processing is why it's really good at handling large amount of users and stuff. Scalable, same thing. And many large companies use it, so there's a lot of information out there that will help you start your brand and stuff. The cons: performance drawbacks, trouble with CPU intensive tasks. I was reading a lot where if it taxes the CPU a lot, it struggles with that, but that's basically only the main problem. And then I looked up when there's many tasks in the background queued up at the same time, it leads to issues. Okay, so here's the structure of um, Node.js. This is kind of the main thing, so we can go through this. The so at the start, it the client request is processed by Angular, as you can see on the left side, and then it enters the Node.js server, which is kind of the main. It's actually a huge part of MeanStack, and then it enters the Express.js to make its request to the database. So Express is like the gateway to MongoDB, and then Mongo retrieves the data and returns it to Express, and then Express returns to Node.js and Node.js to Angular. So it basically goes through a cycle, and that's how you use MeanStack. All right, so if you wanted to use Node for yourself, you need a text editor and you need the binary installables. And you may also need to download the Node.js archive. Okay, so once you download it, you get a command line interface, and you can run the node exe command to see if it's working. You type in the command, and then it tells you, it sends you a message saying like everything is working. Another command, this one, npm install gexpress, will install the express module, and the express module we'll get into. Okay, so the express module, it's a framework for Node.js web applications. It is a minimal and flexible version of the Node.js model. It sets up middlewares to respond to HTTP requests. So I'll show you what that means. Um, Middleware is a software that provides services beyond. So it's basically like a middleman for when you're making a website. So you don't have to like call the port. I'll go into that. Um, for example, you would use Express when making your, yeah. It's just an alternative way to use Node.js. Okay, so if you want to make a Node.js application for Hello World, you would start with a file named app.js. So you need a JavaScript file, and then you can use this JavaScript code Hello World, run it with a interpreter, and then the output should be Hello World. If you want to create a server, you start with this first line of code, var http equals require http, and what that does is it causes the directive to load the http module and store it into a variable. So you're creating a variable, and at the start, it loads up the http module, which you need for starting a server. And then the second line of code, basically what it does, it checks the http status, and then it has a text style along with it. And this is all JavaScript. And then the response will be hello world, and then the console prints the message. So this is just basic JavaScript on a hello world with like an application server type. Okay, so you can make tons of different types of applications with Node.js. You can make GIF chat rooms, Zoom applications, COVID trackers. You can even make your own command line interface. And if you wanted to use, this is just another part, because Node.js, it's not really a solo thing. Like, you can really use it at its most within mean stack. So if you want to connect a database to it, like these popular databases, let's say you want to do a Mongo database because that's the mean stack, main component. You would use this command line, npm install, and then it would create the database module. And then this is an example of code that you would use to install the module. And line 1 verifies, you have to verify the Mongo client first. Then this second part connects to your example database animals. If there's an error, obviously it throws the error, gets you out. And then it finds the certain collection mammals, which is like a more specific part of the database other than just animals. And then the log console.log result prints the result. So then I have this more sample code to build an Express website. You can use it in the command prompt to set up the Express things, and then basically you do this, you visit this website in your browser and it brings you here. So this is just like a basic website. Not really like a website, but it's like a start to a website. And you can change it, obviously. The file structure of an Express website is here. And there's some important things to know, like the package.json has the following information inside it: the cookie parser, debug, Morgan, HTTP errors. There's different the route file and stuff. But that's super like I could get into that, but I don't have much time. And here's some examples of when to use Node.js: outbound applications, data streaming applications, JSON API. Don't use it for CPU intensive apps. And in conclusion, Node.js is an integral part of the mean stack. The benefits of it outweigh the drawbacks. If you're planning on building with web JavaScript, this is definitely your best option. Tons of large companies work with it. it's proof enough how valuable it is. The JavaScript flexibility to be able to cover front end and back end servers is why it's such a strong choice for many businesses. So that is Node. There are my references.